welcome back, everyone. Uh, you guys wake up. It's now been a solid 2 days since you first made landfall, so to speak, in Ixalan in your journey to find Eleni and to gather information and sort of scope out this uncharted territory. You all are woken up by the rising sun. Uh, you all are sleeping inside a building, so it's not quite as bright, not quite as blinding, but it is still very jarring. Um, the sort of power of this sun sort of shining into the bar that you slept at, the Washed Up. Um, and I would like to know how you all are feeling and what you guys are doing. As you see, Lucky comes in from her back room and starts putting things to rights. It doesn't really seem like in a hurry to hassle you all necessarily. You get the idea that she has let people sleep on her floor before, as she does deal with the business of drunkards.
Ooh, excuse me.
No. uh, well, as far as I know, Motif actually wasn't in Lucky's part.
I know Ashan relocated, so I know Ashan didn't stay out there all night. So you could have if you wanted to.
I think Motiva personally is right now cleaning up the boat and trying to make it habitable. Like, I think she's like trying to make like a conversation pit out of like beds.
What you mean with your bedrolls?
Yeah, I think she's trying to make like a conversation area with bedrolls. She's thinking about how whenever they go to the city, she wants to make it more comfortable, like get better curtains. Like she's just like, how do I make this place hospitable?
That's very fair. It's definitely not a bad setup. I will say if you want to make a conversation pit with everybody's bedrolls, that will take a conversation because everybody else is again sleeping inside. But you definitely can like move around some of your own like bedding, the bedding that like makes sure you're not sleeping on cold hard ground and ruining your back even more. Um, but you can definitely like try to kind of arrange your own things in a way that makes it feel a little less empty. It's not like hard to be in, but there's definitely like no seats on the one that you have.
Yeah, like she's like Sims first renters planning out like, oh, I have a lantern. I can like if I get a nail and a hammer, I can like hang it up on the top of the hood. Like la la la. She's like home planning.
I love how you immediately get a boat and are turning it into a house, personally.
Thank
Make
you.
this boat a home.
Sean will think you're insane.
I make this boat a home.
Make this boat a home.
What's Falin doing?
I think. I think she's going to ask Lucky on if there's anything we should know before going to Otepec, or like the journey there.
I mean... Okay, well, how much information are you talking? Because... Do you know how to boat up a river?
I do not. One of the others might? maybe?
Okay, well, that would probably be the first thing to know. I think that would be more important to know about anything, first and foremost, personally. You push the stick on the ground and it pushed the boat.
Pretty simple enough.
Water runs downhill. When you're not pushing the boat, it will be going in the opposite direction. So don't stop pushing the boat. Unless you anchor it on something. But that's boat 101 in general. Water always moves. You should always anchor a boat if you're planning to hunker down. Otepec's about a day out. I mean... It's just your average city, really. Have you interacted with Sun Empire people before? Is that why you're asking?
That is why I'm asking. I am not, I've not spent a lot of time on the mainland, as it were.
Okay, cool, awesome. Step 1, don't be weird about it. They will tell if you're being weird about it or too hesitant about things, and they will think you're being weird about it. Don't... How do I word this while being respectful about it? There's a lot of fighting between peoples around here. They will probably not fight you because terms lately have been very equitable. But if you act suspicious, they will be suspicious of you. So just go in, act natural. They won't bite. That's what I'm getting at. If you give them reasons to be suspicious of you, it is natural for them to be suspicious of you. But, you know, factions mixing these days isn't that weird, so. Don't give them a reason to think it is. It's not the most important thing out there, but a little bit of gold will grease any social awkwardness.
Good to know.
I guess it's worth mentioning a lot of priests in that one specifically. I don't know how you feel about that. Everybody will feel that way, feel different ways about it. But it's the leadership is very devout in that town specifically. So that's kind of like the most notable thing about it. Again, it's on the water, and it has temples, so there's a lot of travelers. So you won't really have to worry about getting your things stolen, but it's still good to kind of keep your wits about you.
Want to mention she's writing all of this down.
Yeah, of course. And I also think that Lucky is going to go on a side that's like, oh, I know earlier I said like, oh, there's not really drama, but also like, you know, you look like pirates, so if you cause beef with people, people are gonna automatically think you're thieves, kind of, because we're kind of like that. So like that's why I say you might not have to worry about getting your things stolen, but again, if you just act like a traveler, if you are respectful and nice and not weird about it, they usually won't fuck with you. So I got this boat. Fair and square, by the way, if somebody asks you where you got this boat, legitimate is where you got this boat.
Legitimate.
It is nice to know that she didn't steal it.
Lucky in character. I'm not going to steal from the town a stone's throw away from my bar. They'll get my ass. You gotta be smart about the crimes you do. Oh, that's right. Everybody has to do their rolls. Sarah, yours is a real one because we have to make your flat check because you woke up.
Oh my god, that's right.
Wake up.
How sleepy are you?
Let's see.
Vibe check.
Nat 20.
Okay, you're not sleepy.
Yay. That was on the Elaine dice.
Nice.
I rolled an 11.
Nice. Middle of the road. Hard to read, that one, honestly.
Hard to read.
I think if you have any specific questions, you can ask Lucky, but I think Lucky is kind of, I don't think it's a stretch to say she's a little bit confused on exactly what kind of information to give you, because she does live here. You know?
Yeah. It's not like we can be specifically just like, we are strangers from another land.
Yeah, tell me everything. Because also, when you ask somebody, tell me everything about where you're from, they're like, I don't know what you consider normal.
Yeah. I don't know what would be new information to you.
Exactly.
What's pertinent here?
Pertin your mom.
Pertinent your mom.
But yeah.
Are you done being 12?
What are you guys doing?
No. I'm trying to think if Falin would have more specific questions, but I feel like she's kind of worried too, because the things that she wants to know, if she asked about, I feel like would give her away as like, I am not of this fucking world.
Yeah, that's the rough part, ain't it?
Oh, Motiva's gonna ask Lucky for 3 days worth of food for their band of 4.
Ooh.
Very smart. Very smart. You guys will also have to have breakfast because yesterday, you did not have dinner. I assume you guys would have eaten before you left Strixhaven. It's easy to do that because it's free, but now that you're in a place, you have to worry about eating every day.
Yep.
That's true.
Food and drink. Meals.
And Motiva's gonna like point at Lucky and be like, I know you live here. I know you have good shit in the back. I will pay you extra to give me some of the good shit.
Okay, okay. I would hate to be stingy for paying customers. Okay, awesome. So, she would be willing to fix y'all up some breakfast, and in Pathfinder they only have one type of ration, but I will say the flavor of this ration is that it's like salted fish and jerky like you had last night. So for your breakfast, that's gonna be 12 CP, so it's basically going to be like 1 SP, 2 copper, right? That's just for breakfast. And then for a week's worth of rations for all 4 of you guys will be 1 GP and 6 SP.
Ooh.
Okay, so the breakfast is
Breakfast. And then this
Thank
is for
you.
everybody to get 1 week of rations on their sheet.
okay. And I don't think it's crazy to say that I'm stashing it on the ship.
Yeah, I don't think that that's crazy at all. You guys can at any point leave stuff on your ship. Again, just kind of be mindful about where you're leaving your ship and what you're leaving on there and stuff like that. I don't want to sit here and say above table you don't have to worry about ever getting your shit stolen, but I like to know what stuff you have with you and what stuff you don't have, especially when it comes to like carrying stuff, you know. But yeah, you guys kind of have a little morning time meal with Lucky saltfish. I think of the people in your little in this little group, Lucky is like half chatty and then half just like kind of quietly eating her meal as it's like her morning, right? But definitely not unfriendly. I feel like Ashan and also Nefei are a little bit quiet during this breakfast. You would have to do we would have to do some rolls if you want to kind of glean if there's any particular reason why, but it also could just be the quiet like tone of the morning, that sort of thing. So I would love to know if you guys think that you're also kind of taking this as a moment to get ready for your day, or if you're trying to be chatty, if you're trying to get anything ready before heading out.
I think Luna's definitely taking the time to get ready. I feel like she is doing a like morning ritual of checking all of her items in her bags and making sure is everything as it should be.
Yeah, 1 second. You're kind of doing that, and you're going over everything, and you're counting everything, and you're resetting up everything, and you're putting it perfectly in your bag. Something feels off, but you can't quite pinpoint it.
What? Don't like that.
Would you tell Motiva?
I feel like Felina's like looking at her bag and she's like scrunching her like brow in like confusion and like going over everything again. She's like, has there been any lost items in here? Has anybody noticed anything like on the floor or something?
You see Ashan kind of like scrunch his nose over at you. But he has the sort of, at first you think that the scrunching is that like he's annoyed, but it's more so like a sort of like angry looking confusion as he kind of goes to lean back from his, he does this thing where like his legs are underneath the stool that he's on and he kind of leans really far back so that he can like look on the ground and like kind of give a cursory glance over the like the dining room essentially. It looks about the same as it did yesterday. I know you guys had like a bit of like a scuffle and that sort of thing whenever you were manning the bar, but like there's not really items on the floor as not only last night did you guys sweep up any debris, but Lucky has been spending a little bit of her night and morning sort of getting any furniture back into order.
Is everything okay?
I don't... No, I resorted my bag, but it feels... something is different.
Motiva's gonna look over Fulin's bag and she's gonna mumble and she's gonna use Detect Magic.
Okay, that's fun. That's fun.
Remember, it is heightened third.
It is heightened third. Let me go look at that. I love looking at heightened spells. I think they're so fun.
It is so nice when spells heighten. It's so neat.
It's so neat. Okay, cool. Hold on. That's a really fun one. Okay, 1 second.
Put that in your pocket.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Do not smoke.
Sorry, I'm thinking.
Is that okay?
So you get a couple different blips basically on your radar, Motiva. I will say that a couple of them you can write off as your personal magic items. But there's still like a good handful, like I would want to say maybe like 4 or 5 presences that you sense. The highest level one's school of magic would be abjuration.
Abjuration.
Congregation. Motiva's gonna like sniff and she's gonna think for a second and she's gonna say, well, if we find anything later, Falin, I'll help you take care of it. If you lost anything important, I'll buy you it again. And if it's sentimental, we'll just burn everything down till we find it.
Well, I hope not here.
Me
but
too.
If I turn over anything, I'll see if the next Helm's Mage that rolls by can shoot ya a holler.
Thank you. Honestly, I can't even tell if something is missing or if I don't know. She's gonna start like counting her coins and shit. She's like counting through everything again.
Yeah, okay. You start counting your coins, and you know that that's right because you had to get those moved over. And you go to look through your bag, and sorry to like speak for you, Falin, but Falin is very meticulous. So I feel like when you pack a bag to go somewhere like this, I feel like you are like, I am packing certain things to be easier to grab. I am making sure that like my heavy stuff is in a certain part of the bag. If there's things that are like, that can get wet, I have like it like under stuff so it doesn't get as waterproof. Like I feel like that's a very like segmented way that like Falin would get ready. Especially because like I think you coming into this knowing that you're not a survivalist, I think that like you would have taken this very seriously. You cannot figure out what is wrong with it, but this bag feels too light. Like as you look through it and as you pick it up, it feels too light. But you can't figure out what's missing.
I feel like Flo looks really worried, and she's like, she's now looking around the like tavern and like inside and outside until someone says it's like time to go.
I believe that. I feel like again, not to speak for how you're feeling, but the idea that you notice this thing and you're like, oh, it's just a wiggle in the back of my mind. It's fine. I'm just going to keep looking until I feel better about it. But you don't feel better about it is the best way I can describe it. Like nothing is like assuaging that worry.
Mm-hmm.
Problematic.
What do you think Motiva's doing right now?
I think that Motiva would be helping Falin for a bit, but then eventually, I don't think it's crazy to say this. I think Motiva and Ashan are kind of the only people who would know how to deal with the ship manually. So I think
Yeah.
eventually, whenever it's just like, we need to do this, Motiva's just like, okay, keep
looking. We're gonna find it. And like whenever she comes back and she's just like, okay, we have to go, and she sees Full and is still really upset and doesn't understand. She's just like thinking for a second, and she says, well, like, did you bring anything important here?
A few things.
Oh, like what?
Well, there's my symbol, my journal, my prayer book.
And
Do
as
you
you
have
kind of-
your symbol, your
My
journal,
phone.
your prayer book, your phone? Go ahead.
you listing them off and like Motiva asking like, okay, do you have each of these things? And I feel like as Falin is listing them off, Falin is like subconsciously like checking the bag again to find them. Like, you know, when you do like the pocket pat,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
She got him.
She do got him.
Okay, you have your phone. That's okay. Well, if you're missing money or something, that's like fine. Maybe you're just gaslighting yourself. I don't know.
I hope not.
I do that.
You do?
Yeah. Like
What
you,
the-
you no, like you think that like you did lock the door, so then you like come back 15 miles during a 30-minute drive. Yeah. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, my door is unlocked, and then your door was locked the entire time, and now you're late to work.
Maybe it is that.
As you're having this conversation, I feel like Nefei has also actually been helping you look. I think Nefei is I don't want to say that nobody's taking this seriously with you, Falin, but I think Nefei is of the group taking it the most serious. Right? But I think like she hears you guys saying this conversation and she goes to kind of like give like this sort of like incredulous little laugh, and she's like, well, I'm not one to judge. I've never necessarily had that happen. But if you're prone to worry, we're in a stressful situation. Thankfully, we're friends of Lucky, and she goes to like give like a look to Lucky, like a nod, and she says, "Then we're welcome to come back and look if we figure out what we've left." And Falin, you kind of hear that there's a very interesting emphasis on when she says left. But I think that Nefei also goes to say, but we're burning daylight. We might as well get on the water and see where it takes us.
Get to it.
Yeah, I think that makes Flynn like take a breath and nod and be like, yes. Have important things. We're good. It's okay.
It's okay. And if
Okay.
we're
Alright.
lucky, it'll continue to be okay.
Well, Lucky's right there.
Yes, well, none of us are lucky when Lucky says it. But I think with that, Nefei kind of goes to give a tip of the head and a little two-finger salute to Lucky, and Lucky goes to kind of give a jaunty wave as Nefei and Ashan kind of go out to the boat. And you guys can do anything you like, but as soon as you're ready, you guys can set off.
I think after that, Flynn is what's the word? Assuaged,
Mhm.
assuaded, and is step to the boat. She's ready to go.
Stepped up to the boat.
Boat
We're
step
ready
in.
to go. Awesome. You guys get to the boat, and you guys get into this sort of like long, flat belly of this boat. There's no seats, and the edges of it aren't super tall necessarily. You imagine it's tall enough for what it does, but it's definitely like a floater style of boat. you guys have this sort of like roof and the little supports, and this one in particular has curtains you can kind of draw or tie back. So I would love if you guys could tell me what you think you guys are doing on the boat, or how you guys are going to set up before you push off. I do think that Ashan is a stubborn and a man, and is going to insist on being the one to push the boat, at least at first.
I feel like Falin switches between like trying to help or like trying to learn how to handle the boat when she's able to, and then just kind of sitting down and looking at everything.
Yeah. So do you think you would like to keep the curtains drawn back so you can like look out on all sides?
Yeah.
Nice. What are you about? You, Motiva?
I was going to say, since Sean is a man, manly man, I think Motiva's going to. I think Motiva's going to fish,
Oh,
so she can
that
get
would
them
be
a
cute.
good dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Roll me a subsist.
Let's see.
I believe that's not a secret roll. I am gonna check. I don't do enough subsists. Okay, yep, it is not. It is not a secret, so you get to roll it. Subsist is a downtime activity, which actually means Sarah. I can tell you, you can go ahead and look at like stuff you want to do as downtime during the boat. But I will say, as Ashan pushes off, and he kind of goes through the kind of tricky and kind of difficult, actually, act of getting this boat from where it was moored on the beach pier and like trying to get it over to like the river delta, and specifically up the river delta, as it translates from like sand to like clay to like actual like pushable dirt. He struggles a little bit, but after a while you guys are on your way. In regards to the watching to figure out how to use it, I love this implication that it might be Falin actually asking Ashan, like, oh, how are you doing this? Like, what do you do now? And Ashan is like, you push the stick. That's it.
You stick.
You stick.
One, push stick. Two, profit.
Yeah. Push stick until you get there, is what Ashan would say about it. But another comment that you actually hear, as Nefei doesn't really do much of anything during this time, as she kind of goes to sit against one of like the edges on the side of the boat. She's short enough that her head doesn't even peek over the side of the boat when doing that. But she's kind of just like back against the wall, arms crossed, short legs stretched out. And she kind of just comments like extremely casually, if she stole from us, I am going to burn down her hut.
I mean, me too, but you shouldn't say it.
Well, I waited till we were outside.
Speaking of, Motiva just pops the detect magic again.
Okay, Slay. I'm really glad you did that, because now I can say confidently, anytime you detect these particular signatures, you can ignore them because they're your friend's magic items. And I will say that once again, you still get like 4 or 5 that aren't your own, and the highest level one is abjuration. So you now know that highest level one has to be one of your friends.
Who the fuck has the abjuration magic item? I need to know so I can mug you.
Well, how smart are you, Motiva? What's your stat for it?
My 19.
Okay, so well, I wasn't doubting you. Like, I was just asking offhand.
No, I know.
This is something that happened to Falin, but I definitely imagine that you guys kind of like chit chat about stuff. Falin, you also noticed that Nefei is packing some really serious magical power in her loadout right now.
I feel like Motiva asks that, and is gonna kind of look to Nefei and say, I assume that's from you?
I think that she looks kind of confused, and then she's kind of like picking up the pieces, and she's like, "Oh, did it set off any of your sensors?"
Yes, if I don't know about it, then it will.
Yeah, well, it is a Bandari exclusive. And I think that she actually will go to tell you about her situation with her armor, actually. And I get to tell you something above table. She's going to explain it differently. She's going to be like, oh, my outfit is made of this aether weave that I made specifically with my family's techniques, specifically to protect me. But I can tell you, mechanically, she's an inventor, and this is her power suit armor. And it's clothes made of fabric.
Oh. Okay.
And it's why she actually is slower. Because it's really powerful, but it's really heavy and really dense in ether.
The cat meme is Motiva looking over and realizing that half the things she detected was just fucking Nefay. Just being like, yeah, I'm packing heat. And she's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I'm sorry, it was realistic because you'd never used detect magic around Nefay before. I'm sorry.
No, it is. No, it is. I don't care. I know that Nefay had items that Motiva didn't know about. I know that also she had a bag of holding that she didn't know about. Motiva's
Yes.
just gonna be like, okay, so I detected 4.
4 or 5. I will tell you, I kept it nebulous because it unfortunately everything you got was stuff on your friend's persons. I don't know exactly how many magic items everybody has, but I know that Ashawn has runed weapons, like weapons or runes, and then
Let's see.
Nefay has her armor, which is the highest level thing of any of you guys. But then she also has a magic weapon that has runes on it.
Oh.
And then her bag. So
Motiva just holds up a metaphorical gun to Bolin. Oh wait, she has a literal gun, but it is a metaphorical gun, and she looks to Bolin and she's like, is there any magic items you're not fucking telling me about?
Have the hat. I have a minor healing potion. I have my staff. Those are the big ones. I don't think I have any other magic item. I mean, unless you count the holds up holy symbol.
Oh, sorry, God, you were typing.
Oh, it's because I'm typing out the number of magic items everybody has.
Ah, yes. Okay. Motiva nods along and is just like, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, and our phones.
And our phones, yes.
Oh, I also have, and she's gonna take out the Dust of Disappearance.
Ah, that's right.
Yes. I have been holding on to it.
It is a good hold.
Sorry, I'm getting also the whole the total for that. Ah, okay. Nefay actually has more than I originally thought, but that's okay. That means Nefay
I just
has-
want to make sure there's no magic blips unaccounted for.
Oh, 100%. I just also think that it would be fun because I imagine in this conversation people are talking about what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motiva's trying to find out if we have like a fucking what is it? The like iPod, the like Apple tracker thing like tapped to our car.
We're having a magic item show and tell time.
Mhm.
Okay, there's actually more than I thought. This is how many they both have.
Nice.
What the fuck is that?
Aether Weave armor isn't a real thing. That's just what I'm calling it. It's her inventor power suit armor.
Not that. What's this?
What's what?
What is that? What is gliding armor?
So it's armor with a gliding rune on it, and it basically means that in a pinch, he has flying squirrel things on his arms that he can use.
That's fucking delightful.
Think very much like Aang from Avatar with his little kite thing.
Oh my god.
Ashawn's entire build is about mitigating fall damage. I want you to know, Sarah, he could fall from like 100 feet up and probably survive.
Oh my god.
It's kind of hot.
Thanks.
Um,
It's because he's a core and he went to Zendikar.
Motiva pulls out her broom and her phone, and she smiles. And she's, this is all I have.
Oh wait, yeah. Also, Sean has the phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, wow.
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 I think Nefe's honest to God advice whenever you're like, these are the only 2 magic items I have, Nefe is like, you should get more.
Motiva pulls out her gun and says, "No need for your magic doodads. I have a Glock."
I'm pretty sure that is a magic gun.
Is it?
The solar gun that does fire damage because it recharges in the sun? Yes. You also could read
like-
that also. Sorry, go ahead.
It's totally a character.
It was in character.
I was about to say, I like to imagine Motiva like pulls out the gun, like, nope, I don't need that, I got a Glock, and then Felinda like squints at it and does detect magic, and is like, oh, that's also magical.
Motiva looks and says, "No."
It's a +1 weapon, so it's automatically magic. It also has arcane and evocation. It is a magic item.
Nah, this is the power of the USA.
USA. USA. Anyway, you can also always rune it up. I think Nefe is very big on being like, hey, listen to me. I know you can say don't fix it if it ain't broke, but you can always make something better.
It seems it distracts. I mean, I guess.
This isn't even her being a mouthpiece. She would just legitimately think that. That's why she's so loaded up on shit right now.
Motiva just smiles and says, "Oh, are you gonna be a sugar mama and give me some runes?"
Earn it first, sweetheart. And then she winks at you. Sean pointedly doesn't say anything.
Motiva goes back to her fucking fishing. All she needs is
Slay.
fishing and fucking.
She needs me fear women want fish.
Yes.
I'm gonna pause really quick because I have to use the bathroom, but Philin, please feel free to think of any downtime activities. And Ash, if you want to roll your subsist roll while I'm gone, I'll come back and deal it whenever I'm back.
Okay.
Okay,
I
we're
will
back.
roll when you press. Okay. Okay. I'll roll. Damn. Oh, hey, that's actually really good. And I'm doing survival.
You're. Lily is staring at me over my computer screen. Please leave me, devil.
23.
23? Okay, and then what was your trained level?
I'm trained.
Okay.
But I do actually get a bonus from using my fishing tackle from my
Ooh.
professional fishing set. So I actually
Nice.
rolled a 24.
Okay, very slay, very slay. Okay. Okay, awesome. This will be the only thing that you get to do actively the whole day. Ash, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, slay. Awesome. So with what you rolled and with how I'm looking at subsist, because it's about finding shelter and food, I will say, with your roll, the way this would work is the idea that you have enough food for yourself. Since you don't have to worry about protection from the elements because you have it, I will boost that up 1, so you can have enough food for you and 1 additional creature in fish. So I'll say that that's maybe like 4 fish.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will look up fish for you really quick. Oh, hell yes. Thank you, Wikipedia Freshwater Fish of Mexico.
Let's hope the Sun Empire fishing wardens don't fucking come up from the deep.
Oh, you know. Also, I hope you guys like the music.
I was just about to say, I wish I forget how little downtime there is in normal Pathfinder, because in the Kingmaker downtime there's actually a lot of stuff given as additions because you camp a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's a storytelling downtime.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, I was like, where is that?
Awesome. I will actually say... you catch 4 bass.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
And to clarify, 2 fish would be 1 meal. But that means that tomorrow morning you won't have to bust into your rations.
Yes. I think she'll give it to Ashan and Fulin.
Wow. Ashan will take it, and I feel like Ashan, like, God, this is such like a bumpkin ass thing to do. Ashan is gonna literally take them and, like, I don't know how to describe it, but, like, you know, whenever you keep like a fish on like a string and you like hang it from something, I think he does that up near where he's at because he's gonna scale it later.
Yeah. It makes fucking sense, to be honest.
Thanks.
Motiva would ask Fulin if she'd want her to cook it, or anything if she needs the help.
Aww. Yes, please. I'm not very good at cooking. I don't do it a lot.
Do you have a fire spell?
Oh, give me 1 second. I gotta check.
Ashan from the top of the boat. I got fire.
But is it controlled?
I can cool, warm, or flavor 1 pound of non-living material.
Don't say it like that, please.
Microwave
Why would you-
cantrip.
Yeah, prestidigitation.
Motiva will take out a little knife and she'll get started on that.
Nice. I'm gonna just say, what's your bonus to survival? Like total?
+7.
Yeah, I'll say that that's something that you can do as a part of your subsist activity. If you want, also, you can do the scaling for Ashan since he is busy navigating the boat.
Yeah, she wouldn't mind. I will say, Motiva would point to Nefei with a knife and just be like, you and me, we're next. These fuckers don't get anything tomorrow. They starve.
Okay, 1 second. All of these fucking downtime activities for Pathfinder from fucking Kingmaker.
Yes, they are.
Oh, so many of them.
You can look at all of them because they're not like unlockable or anything.
It's just annoying because I'm trying to find the normal ones.
You can. They're good. How dare you? Do you not want to gossip?
Well, we can't gossip in a closed group because you don't get any good information that way about the area you're in.
Rude.
I'm trying to see if there's anything that Nefei would do, but I don't think so. I think Nefei is just going to casually craft.
Why?
Rest and relax.
Rest and relax. Yeah, alright. Slate. Flynn.
Hello. I did have an idea. I don't know that it would work as a downtime activity. I found one that I thought was in line with it, but the description makes me think otherwise. I feel like it is very in character for Flynn to spend the whole boat ride like studying the fucking landscape as we are going past it and trying to keep an eye out for anything that looks familiar.
Okay.
Or like it matches up with the description that they got.
Okay.
And the closest thing I could find for that was scout location, but that talks about infiltration and EP.
Yeah, so that's technically an infiltration activity, but I will say that we can use it sort of as like a... I'm willing to take your downtime activity and give you something for it. If you want to say, I'll give you a custom roll for this. Flynn, where are you at? You gotta open your sheet. Because it's one of those things that, like, I definitely think that, like, is fitting, and I think it can give you information, especially because, like Motiva and Ashawn are technically not going to be getting any information from the actual landscape because they are actively doing something. So I think rewarding this is a really good idea, and it makes sense. So I think what I'm going to do... I will allow you, if you would like, because I think the way that I'm going to flavor this is that you're cross-referencing the information that you got, the information on the map you were given, and, like, using that to, like, read the surroundings as you go and keep track of how far you're going. I will allow you to roll me an Academia lore for that.
Wow.
Wow.
Alternatively, I was also going to say society, but they're the same bonus, so it doesn't really matter the specifics of it. But basically, I'm going to say that you're trying to be really academic about what you're doing.
Yeah. Ooh. 18 plus 11.
18 plus
29.
29. All right, yeah. So this is something that you're able to do relatively easily. I would compare it to when you have to cross-reference papers and stuff, because that's kind of the approach you're taking on it. And as you kind of go up this river, what you notice as the sort of landscape goes by is that there is a very lush landscape to it. There's a lot of also incline changes that I think is surprising to see considering the style of boat this is. It's actually not very well suited for this particular part of the river. But none of it is like steep enough for like rapids, but it is like fast, if that makes sense. You get the feeling that this is a travel that is actually not that quick via boat, because Lucky went there and came back in one day. Because the walk there was one day, and then the boat ride was fast because it was downstream. Because you all are a little bit inexperienced, you are kind of going slower than you think. Like, it's not really well suited for it. You kind of watch as you delicately go up this sort of delta, and you pass by that sort of big island that is like right here on the foundry. Which is kind of just like a really big sandbar. It doesn't really have any trees or anything on it of note. And you come up and you start seeing like these sort of branching areas right here. And by the time darkness actually falls, you are not able to see the lights through the trees of Odepec. So it is kind of up to your discretion if you are going to try to anchor and rest, or if you are going to try to push for longer. Thankfully, because you're not walking, it's not like a forced march, so it wouldn't be like constitution based, but you probably would get a condition because you are pushing yourself past when you normally would be sleeping.
Yeah. I feel like as the day goes on and Philid is kind of realizing this, she will let everyone know, like, I think it's going to take more than a day to get there.
Wow. You know, we do have an expert boater with us.
Are you trying to sass me right now?
No, but I am saying you can take a rest as my bestie Archibald is gonna boat for us. And Motiva's gonna use Persistent Servant, and she's gonna try to walk Ashawn away from the handle and just be like, let him take care of it.
Okay. Alright. Good enough for me. He doesn't look like he trusts it very much.
Motiva just like shrugs and says, Sister's gonna watch him. Just like I was watching you. It's equality.
I love the idea that there is now an unseen servant about to like do this chore, and like Sister is like the supervisor, just like wrapped around the like the oar stick thing. I don't know what you call it. Calling it a stick and calling it an oar feels incorrect.
Yeah, I don't know what to call it, but Motiva's just gonna shrug and say, she's an extension of my magic. She kind of is my magic, but if he does anything stupid, she can correct it.
It's like, I went to Google it and it's just called a gondola stick, so we're gonna call it the stick.
Hell yeah.
It's also sometimes called the gondola pole, but calling it a pole is more funny. Hell yeah, so you do that. Then I have a question for you, Ash. Do you think then that you are gonna make it do that like while you rest? Are you guys going to sleep and wake up? Are you like what are you guys gonna do? Also, I'm very curious what familiars do when you're asleep.
They don't need sleep. So sit on that as you need.
They simply vibe.
Yeah.
Fear.
They just are around. Like, Midge doesn't sleep. I don't imagine Sister sleeps.
That's so scary.
I like to
it's. She also has dark vision.
I like to imagine like cartoon style B plot of familiars going on a little adventure whenever their guys are asleep.
What's
Yeah.
that one movie? The Dogs of Beverly Hills, Chihuahuas of Beverly Hills, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Motiva.
Go ahead.
Motiva was just gonna like tell Ashawn that like he and Nefeh can sleep and Motiva and Falin can keep watch since Sister has dark vision. So whenever he wakes up and they can sleep for their shift, Sister can come over because as far as I know, Ashawn's the only one with true dark vision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what Sister's
Oh,
for.
wait, no, Nefeh has dark vision.
Ooh.
What? That's fucked up. That's scary.
She's a dwarf.
So scary.
Dwarves were made in caves. She would hate that sentiment, actually, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Motiva's gonna smile and say, okay, but consider. Oh, Faye, I'm about to be really mean.
Uh-huh.
Could I win against you in an arm wrestling contest?
What's your strength score, Motiva?
It's +2. But my athletics is +8.
She's gonna look at you and she's gonna kind of shrug and say, if you were lucky.
Well, if you were lucky does not compare to Ashawn. And then Falin just is a noodle. So
We have the two noodles.
I've
Sleep.
been working on it.
Okay. Come here.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah. We have the two noodles asleep whenever they need to be, and then the two people who can actually row awake whenever they need to be. And steering the ship, that is.
I, as Panini, I don't know what you're trying to insinuate.
Two mages, two tanks. Mage, tank, take shifts.
Ah, I see.
Yes.
So, are you asking Nefei to stay up with somebody?
Yeah. Tiva would ask Nefei to stay up with Ashan.
Okay, awesome. When you opened with "I'm about to be really mean," I thought you were leading up to insulting her, so I couldn't understand what you were trying to say to her.
No. She was just insinuating that her and Valen are weaker.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, yeah, I think that Nefei would offer to do that. Nefei is aware that she hasn't really done anything today, so she's willing to stay up a bit longer.
Okay. Well, this is the perfect time for you and Ashan to keep watch because I assume it's getting dark.
Oh yeah, it's already dark.
Oh yeah. Motiva smiles and says you two are perfect for this because it's starting to get dark. So you'll have 3 people with eyes. If you ask sister for a bedtime story, she might say yes. Good night.
I think I'll pass, but thank you. All right. So are you saying Miva and Flynn are going to see?
If that's
Smooth.
okay with Flynn.
Yeah.
Is Flynn gonna send out another message?
Yes, I will type that out.
Give it to me. Gimme, 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 gimme.
I forgot what the word limit was again. Damn. Oh yeah, I got some fucking leeway.
Nice, yeah, because it's a lot longer than message or sending, which I think is very slay.
Yes.
I hate the phrasing for message because it's just like it's a short message, and I'm just like, well, that's not very good for describing.
I have to grab the last message.
Feel free to send them if you want into our confidential chat.
Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm gonna do it in chronological order.
Oh, I misunderstood message. In Pathfinder, that is.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it can be as long as you want, as long as you can see them.
Yeah.
I said
Which I've already
movie.
sent.
Slay.
And I will write. New one.
I also will actually use this time to discuss how the unseen servant is rowing. So in the wording of persistent servant, it talks about how like things that need a lot of manual dexterity or like a lot of like uh brain.
Yes, it's not very
don't work.
good.
Yeah, so it's not very
Yeah.
good. But the thing is that like rowing is a very simple action. So I'm probably going to rule that it's just like maybe like slower than you guys would have been doing it, but it means that you guys don't have to be doing it the whole time, which I think is just as useful.
Yes, that's why I made Sister specifically stand by it so that it can correct the servant as needed.
Yeah, exactly. And thankfully, since it is just a river, it's very easy for a sister to be like, that way. Go this, stop that. You know what I mean?
Random hissing throughout the night as Motiva sneeps and Sister's just hissing at a shot and a Faye are just like, what the fuck?
Literally.
Can you pause the episode really quick?
I will
I want
pause.
to eat.
All right. So you guys set up your unseen servant with sister as the supervisor manager. As you guys all kind of settle down to rest and take little watches. This is now where I get to ask you a very fun question. Do you guys think you're keeping the curtains still open, or do you think you're going to close them? And I would love to know, again, as like a reiteration, who is on watch with who?
Do you actually want to? So I'm a liar, and I found out that Nefei is actually a tank. So do you want to pick which tank you chill with? Lover girl's choice.
Well, I think Philin would feel inclined to stay up with Nefei.
Slay.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. What do you guys think you're going to do about the curtains?
So is there curtains at the side and the front?
Yes, you could fully close all of them, or you can keep any which configuration open. They're the sides, the front, and the
Oh.
back, because you're a long rectangle boat.
I was actually going to say, if it's while Sister is steering for now, Sister could actually steer the entire ship while still outside and correcting the unseen servant. So Sister could just be chilling flat on top of the boat with the curtains all closed up.
Oh, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
so we can
Your
have, like-
your servant would still have to be technically yes, but the part that this is a semantics thing, but the part that the unseen servant is using the oar at, that would have to be open to have access to the water. So you have to have one
that's fine.
open.
That's fine. Most, like 3/4 coverage.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what your preference was on that sort of thing.
I
3/4
do.
coverage. No,
Yeah, I was gonna say I do think Philin would want the curtains at least partially open, so that like whenever somebody gets up, we can just see outside. Maybe not see the entire surroundings, but like
I have
a
a
little bit
fun
of surrounding.
I have a fun question for you then. Do you think you would want that to be the front section or the back section?
Probably the front. to be
yeah.
honest.
All right.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we curtain up the sides and leave the front and the back open.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely doable. You guys set that up as part of your like getting ready to lay down situation. And which one of you two wants to take first watch?
Philin.
Come on, nose goes.
Sure.
All right. Go ahead.
Nothing. I was just laughing because I was saying, like, Sarah, do you want to take first watch or do you want to say? Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But yeah, you guys go to set up your watches, and Motiva, you and Ashan kind of go down to hunker down for the night. to the sweet sounds of lush jungle life, lapping water, and sister hissing from the roof of the boat. As you kind of get situated where you're at, Falin, especially as like an elf that we've established you trance, your settling down is very restful, but not a lot of like outright sleeping, right? So you're doing a lot of the stuff that you normally have to do whenever other people around you are sleeping. Things like reading, looking at your journals, and Nefei kind of still keeps working idly on whatever small project she started on the journey the day before. And I think that something that you pick up, somebody who's particularly insightful, is that she was really quiet this morning, and everybody was quiet this morning. But she's also been particularly quiet during the journey and even like now, which is something that you know as somebody who's you've basically broken bread. You've stayed the night. You know what I mean? She is normally a very sort of extravagant person, flamboyant even, very talkative, very warm and welcoming. And it is not strange to say that since this whole debacle has happened, most of you are acting out of sorts, but in particular Nefei.
I feel like at this point in the night, Falin is more somber. I feel like it is a time of day where she's very prone to in her feels, especially because I imagine she has just sent the dream message.
Yeah, having to chew on that, I bet, makes Falin super depressed.
Yeah. So I feel like she's.
On the topic of that, you do get the knowledge that Eleni is sleeping and must have gotten that message. So go ahead.
Slay. So I feel like right now Flynn is kind of like leaning on the edge of. I'm gonna say like the front of the boat or something, kind of looking out at everything, and kind of watching Nefei as she's working on this thing, as she's like kind of internalizing this about her being out of sorts. And she's just gonna kind of look at her. Just gonna say, "How are you doing?"
That's a loaded question, and you know it, I think.
Too loaded to answer?
It all feels so fucking pointless.
What we're doing?
What, we're gonna go on a romp around this continent for what? A month? 2 months? We're gonna ask every single person here if they've seen someone and dodge accusations because it's supposed to be important that people don't find out what we are, and they're gonna be alive when we find them. Doing everything we can, and it still doesn't feel like enough.
It was either this and have a chance, however slim, of finding them sooner, or waiting longer for the guaranteed approaching at their destination. I felt better about our chances here.
Yeah, I don't feel like those other chances are any better. Well, Well, you know what they say, you're not supposed to listen to how you feel about anything when the sun goes down.
Can't say I'm familiar with that notion given what I'm from, but even if it feels pointless, even if the places we look while we're here come up with nothing, it is still progress in my mind. We can't know where they are until we know where they aren't. I still don't like it, mind you.
Well, you were always good at that. Saying a sentence that makes sense.
Only sometimes.
Just feels bogus.
Mhm.
There's something very interesting about the idea of understanding when it comes to interplanar things, planeswalking, jumping from world to world, and how everything is all connected. Is that every single one of these places, people have a different idea of why things happen and what faith means. And really, I think all this is showing me is that the cosmos is a joke. It's because if there's anybody who didn't deserve it, it was them. And there's no point or reason for any of us getting chosen or picked. Chance, probability. I feel like I pity and envy people who can think that fate isn't something that we have to make for ourselves. So that's how I'm doing.
Well, thank you for the honesty. Genuinely. It's maybe something we have to make ourselves, but no. I think it's a good thing we have a skilled crafter with us.
Yeah, well, I haven't found something I can't make for myself yet, I suppose.
And we can help you make it, if you ask.
If we want to get technical, there is a saying about too many cooks in a kitchen, but I get what you're trying to make an analogy for. It's good to have fresh eyes. Can't imagine what doing it on your own would be like.
It's hard. And I personal experience, it can be impossible even unless you have other people there with you.
Heard you had half a jump yourself.
A little bit. Almost. Don't go telling anyone this. I may or may not have admitted to Onyx that I might attempt forcing a jump.
I think if you have the chance to control when and how it happens, then I think that's better. I mean, worst case scenario, you die doing it, and I mean, worst case scenario, you die doing it any other time, so I don't see the point in not leaving it up to chance the when. If you're smart about it, you could pick a time when we're all actually available to go get you.
If I time it just right.
I don't know. You'll make whatever decision you want to make about it, but I'm getting tired of other people making decisions for me. Nah, bet you didn't hear that from me. I think during this whole conversation, Nefei is not often looking at you. I think a lot of this conversation is done while avoiding making eye contact with you. And you see that, like, her hands kind of do almost like a... I would compare, like, what she's doing to, like, a knit, where every time there's, like, a long pause, she kind of just goes back to doing her knit, her purl, and kind of weaving something out of nothing. You're not able to figure out what sort of thing it is, but it's this sort of meandering activity. And I don't think it is strange to say that you and most people that you're close with are familiar with the idea of an idle activity. Something you can do kind of without having to think about it. And I can tell you that your watch goes safely. You in particular, with your sort of really sharp perception, will occasionally notice a sound or a splash or rustling, and I feel like that kind of gets you on edge, but it's always something that passes in the night. So if there's not anything else you'd like to say to Nefei, we can move on to Motivas.
I feel like after that conversation, there's like a period of time where Philin is kind of quiet and just kind of watching Nefei before, like... I had been imagining they were seated, like, separately from each other for that conversation, but I like to imagine Flynn got up from where she was and went to sit next to Nefei and started asking her about her knitting and everything as a change of topic.
Oh, I think that's really cute. I think Nefei can tell you a lot about it, and it's what's fun about talking to somebody who's really good at something is it's all information that goes over your head entirely, right? But I think the way that she talks about it kind of casually, and it still has that sort of undercurrent. And I think what you're realizing is what this undercurrent is frustration, it's anger. And it's something that you have seen simmering for a while, especially since the first time you talked to Nefei after everything. But at least for now, she is still as she sort of preoccupies her time. I will pick out what I think it is, and I think I'll tell you later what she would say that she's making. But I'll have to decide what it is.
Nice.
All right. So you guys go through your watch, and then you guys go to sort of wake up the other two before passing off the reins. I also could give this as a chance for you guys to talk as you're passing, if you would like, at least to say something before the next watch. But you also don't have to.
Do you think Valen has anything to say to me ever?
Oh.
Evil.
Hello, good morning. So nice to see you.
Motiva just under the boat. Is just,
On the other side of the boat, Nefei is waking up Ashan by literally nudging him with his boot.
It's time for your watch.
11 more minutes. I'll set 11 more minutes.
Go ahead.
I like to imagine Motiva says that. Everyone's just like, I will wait here for 5 minutes and then I will wake you up again.
Over the course of those 5 minutes, I actually think Ashan would do something, which I think is very fun. She days are checking numbers.
What would he do?
It depends on if you're getting up right now or not.
No, if Lynn said like, yeah, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, but I'm gonna be back in 5 minutes, she'd just be like, yes, delicious.
But then also,
Snooze.
she's not leaving. She's like kneeling next to where Motiva is sleeping, is just watching her.
First of all, I love that. That's so elf coded. Okay, Slay, then you get a front row seat as Ashan finally goes to haul his ass up out of sleep. And he sees that Motiva is derelicting her duties. And so he's gonna kind of go walk over, like lumber over sleepily. And he's gonna just be like, alright, princess. And he's gonna put his hands under your armpits and yank you up to sitting. And then try to drag you up to standing. You said you wanted to help out. It was your idea to do watches.
Sister, help!
Sarah, help!
Sister, help!
Ashan, like, oh, you're avoiding me now? You don't want to hang out with me now? He shakes you a little bit as he's like just holding you as you're like dead weighting him.
Yeah. Her hair like goes to slap him in the face, and she's just like, "Okay, I'm up, I'm up, I'm up, I am up."
He drops you.
Mom.
Thunk. He's gonna. No, I think he would do this. You know that thing people do? It's such a specific view in my head. It's like mussing up hair, but also like pushing down while doing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, he does that to you, Falin, and he tells you to get some sleep.
Oh,
Okay.
trance or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the hell you do, weirdo.
Don't be racist,
Yeah, hey.
bitch.
He flips you both off, and he's going to do the once again in a really annoying man thing, but it's very Ashan coded. I actually think that he would crawl on top of the boat with sister. He likes to be tall.
He likes to
He
be
likes to be
tall.
tall. Tia's just gonna call us. You're gonna get us fucking burn.
It's dark.
Snow blindness. Go to bed,
Your mama's
Fallen.
snowblind.
You
Midnight.
wish. I wish. I wish.
I will say he will hold out a hand to help you up if you're gonna go up there with him.
She'd go up there.
Nice. He lugs you up, and you, him, sis, and sister are up there, and you're just kind of like watching the little gondola pole just be pushed.
Any ideas on what happened to Flynn's stuff?
I mean, we did stay with a pirate. I guess that could make sense. I don't know. Could have dropped it. We were walking a long time. Could have just not brought it. Whatever she lost, she didn't seem really specific about it. Very fun fact with this that I'm putting on to the recording, because I'm sure you've caught on to this, Sarah, but I will remind everybody, you're fully conscious right now. I don't know if other people know the specifics of, like, your trance, but you can hear people talk, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. Motiva would actually react to that and just be like, yeah, and Motiva would just look at him and just be like, Flynn doesn't forget things.
No one's impervious to forgetting something.
Name one time she forgot something. Do it. You can't.
Well, okay, maybe I can't, but I think the idea that she can't ever is unrealistic. The mind isn't some esoteric, perfect. It's not the soul, it's a muscle. They get damaged. Mine literally is right now, if you forgot.
I did not forget. I'm very perfectly aware.
You love me for my twitches.
I do. I think that they're very you.
Okay, well, that's embarrassing. You can't react that way to my joke.
You're like a little puppy twitching in his sleep.
I can't even threaten to push you off the boat.
I will cry.
I know. That's why I'm saying you can't. You're teasing me because you know that I can't get you.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
it's funny. It's funny.
Anyway. I mean, whatever it is whatever it is. But if it's not something that she noticed that she's missing, it can't be that important.
I'm kind of worried. What if somebody put something on her stuff and it left?
When do you think that would have happened?
Whenever we were sleeping, like, and maybe while we were, I don't know, her boyfriend is fucking insane. Maybe he, like, put an invisible servant or something on her shit.
Could have been a bug, like a literal bug, like a pest for listening.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have a ton of times when something could have been planted like that. So if it's something like that, then that would be a bit more worrisome.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't know if she forgot stuff. So my thing is that what if it isn't that Falin forgot something? It's that somebody put something there that she didn't know about. And then it was lighter, so she was just like, wow, my bag is lighter. It feels different.
Mm-hmm.
You're making fun of me.
No, I'm thinking. You gotta take me a minute. I wonder. That's not a bad idea. We might need to keep an eye on that situation. Hold on one second. I was gonna say something as a Sean and I forgot what it was.
Yeah. Well, you have a regard.
I'm buffering.
The homosexual distracted you.
It's true. Oh, yeah. I think Ashana's gonna say, I mean, I agree that that's more likely than her forgetting. Well, no, I think forgetting something is the most likely idea. I think somebody planting something is valid. I think her having actually lost something is the least likely, because I would like to hope that you guys actually packed light for this, because that's, you know, the first bullet point when you want to go hiking or traveling in the wilderness.
I don't think she knows how to travel in the wilderness.
You would think she would have picked up a fucking book about it. That's what she does every time she doesn't know something.
Like, but we're here.
Yeah, we're here. We're here to keep them both out of trouble. I know it.
Like, kind of just like motions. She's just like, we're here.
I don't know how useful Nefay is in the wilderness.
Not
I'm
very.
not an authority.
I'll tell you that. I've done scouting parties with her before. She's not. She's better in a fight in a city than actually searching, which isn't awful. It's not a moral failing. It is hard to work with her because of how she is. And you see, he says that in a very calculated and particular way.
Motiva looks at him. It's like, I'm not exactly best friends with the Fae, dude. You can just say what you mean.
It's not like I think, like, insubordination, and he does air quotes, is bad, or questioning things is bad, or having your own ideas are bad. But I've had a very hard time getting her to recognize and listen to people who obviously know more than her about something. And that is a problem when you are a small group trying to keep everyone with all their limbs. Nothing bad has happened yet, but it's just problematic. If I have to travel with people, I would like to know that I can trust them to listen to me when I actually know what I'm talking about. The only time not listening to me has ever actually worked in our favor was the one time.
The one time.
With the mage hunter.
Okay.
But I also knew what I
well,
was talking about then, so.
There is another time that you were entirely wrong.
Enlighten me.
Oh, you don't remember. Ooh. Hey, do you remember the first thing you said to me in Flynn? Do you remember? Do you remember? And she's like twirling her hair.
No. You guys weren't really on my radar back then.
You called us assholes and that you didn't want to talk to us. And what do you know? Now you're obsessed with me.
Shut up.
She does.
He says that, but he's looking out into the woods and you see that he has like a crooked smile on his face.
She just looks fucking smug and then she just nods and she says, yes, I remember very specifically. To be fair though, it was really fucking embarrassing. I also would have told somebody to fuck off if they were that embarrassing, but
Yeah, we all were pretty embarrassing back then.
nah.
Oh wow, you're not
We were-
jumping at the bit to call me cringe.
No.
You must like me or something.
I do, a little bit. But I will
Bad
say it's
taste.
pretty I will say it's pretty funny to see you being a lieutenant and authority figure.
Sometimes I have good things to say. And a lot of times I'm
Sometimes
right.
Okay. Correcting yourself. Very good. Maybe you can be an authority figure.
All you really have to do is have is confidence to have people listen to you.
Don't I fucking know it. I will say, though. I think it is
Pretty hard for Nefei to treat you not seriously. I do think that she respects your authority with things that you know, but I do think one of the reasons why she's so willing to be insubordinate is Ashan, a lot of people like Eleni.
Yeah.
That's the problem here.
I'm worried we'll have a martyr if we fail. I haven't talked about that yet.
No, I don't disagree. I talked about it with Onyx pretty at length. A lot of people like Eleni. A lot of people care about Eleni. And that's why we need to get them. If they go, a lot of people are going. And we don't have the hands to take care of that.
I'm worried people can go before we even have a chance to grab them.
Well, that's why the twins were left behind.
I think we have the most volatile ones with us.
Exactly. And the twins are all knightly nobility and this is whatever.
I'm not worried about the
So-
people back home. I'm worried about the people down there sleeping.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
I'm trying not to think too hard on it.
That sounds like the nicer of the options. I feel like I haven't really had a chance to not have my hackles raised in a long time.
If it makes you feel better, we're going to be in a city soon, and that will be their best environment. You'll be out of the job for a minute.
I'll still have stuff to do. I'll probably peel off on my own for a bit, though. I'm a bit quicker on my feet.
And you'll be bringing sister with you then.
I mean, there are snakes here. I guess it won't be that strange to see. But you guys can do your talking thing, and I can see a lot from rooftops.
Maybe I'll give you a grocery list so you can do something else too.
Do you have things that you need that we don't already have?
I think it would be pretty good to make sure that we get stuff so that nobody gets sick from malnutrition.
Okay, so what stuff? Oh, please
Dried
tell me
fruits.
what fruits and vegetables to buy from this plane we've never been on.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm gonna cut this interaction here as Motiva like literally starts giving Ashana like grocery list and she's gonna like text it to him like an annoying like wife.
I love that, especially because he was being extremely sarcastic, and I love the idea that you're like, get us some kale.
Get us kale, get us dried turnips. I will get, if you get a cauldron, we can use a cauldron. We must live. We must not subsist. We must thrive. Morale must remain high.
I definitely think that Ashan goes kind of along with it, even though it's like a bit. I actually don't think he fights it too much because I think at first he's like, oh yeah, well, we're just fucking dicking around. But the thing about it is, I think that he comes around to it specifically because You're talking about like morale and stuff like that, right? And like, oh, we have to thrive. We can't just like survive, that sort of thing. I think Ashan thinks that that's a good idea because Ashan does not technically know how long we will be doing this. So the malnutrition thing is valid. We need to get comfy here.
Yeah. Like, Motiva would literally even, like, bring up, like, her plans for, like, oh, we should, like, hang up lights around the boat or, like, get something that we can cook on while on the ship.
Mm-hmm. Big agree. I definitely think that Ashan will look into that whenever we are in the city. And I think maybe that's what I will do. Maybe I'll have him separate off from the three of y'all and do that. And
Yeah.
then whenever you guys meet up, I'll have like a list of things that he will have gotten with
Yeah,
his own money.
Wow, I was gonna say Mochi was gonna give him 7 platinum.
Wow, he'll take it. Don't worry, he'll take it. He don't have that much money. Him broke.
Him a broke boy.
Mm-hmm. Slay. You. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just adjusting my platinum.
You guys go through your watch. In a lot higher spirits than the other two. You don't know that, but a lot higher spirits than the other two. And I think that it's something that is really heartening for the both of you as people who are very worried on this journey. By fate or accident, you are more experienced in these moments, and you both have really been feeling it. You both kind of notice pinpricks a bit more frequently, whether it's because you are up top or you guys are just more keyed into things that could happen. But there are multiple times throughout the night that think that actually disrupt your conversation as you think something might come through the trees to fly at you. Or something might slither in the water next to you as your servant pushes you along. And nothing happens, but just for flavor, your watch is a little bit jumpy.
Mm.
As by the time it's done, dawn is breaking. And I would love to know, Flynn, how do you feel upon waking up?
She could hear conversation happening.
Oh yeah, basically all of that.
Yeah.
In my head, I feel like trance weaves in and out because you're also thinking about memories, but like you heard enough to understand the gist of what is happening around you.
Yeah. I feel like she's a bit miffed. But is trying not to present that.
Okay, awesome. Give me a flat check.
Can I see her not presenting that?
Depends on her flat check.
Haha.
18.
Okay, you succeed. You're not EP.
Whee.
I will roll you a sense motive really quick, Motiva. No. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. So yeah, do you guys think that there's anything that you guys kind of do when you come back together for the morning before setting off? Well, you guys have been setting off actively, but like before the day of downtime is happening.
I think Motiva's gonna clap her hands together and say, okay, so me and Ashan came up with an idea. This boat might be our house for a little bit. So while we're in the city, he's going to run off and get us stuff to thrive here. So if there's anything that anybody has requests for, please feel free to ask him.
And she like looks to him and is just like, be nice.
He's already making a stank face, but Nefei is already making a list.
This is a good question.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm actually probably gonna like look at lists of adventuring gear and magic items like whenever we're out of session entirely. And like I will curate a couple things that he will get for y'all separately from just the things that you're asking for.
Like Motiva's gonna like fully inform, like, these are the things that I asked for, these are the things that I think would like help us, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not gonna have anything else to do, and we're gonna be talking to people all day. So we'll have little treats.
Yeah, Sean's just
Yeah.
gonna be doing parkour the entire time you're in town.
Parkour.
Do you think Ashan would say that while he's like doing parkour? He just like jumps, just like parkour.
No, he's more stealthy than that, but it would be really funny. I think whenever he does something particularly cool, I think he makes a noise of accomplishment.
He thinks parkour in his head.
He's like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Inside voice.
I'm sorry, that's really funny.
Thank you.
That was really funny. Flynn, do you think that there's anything that you do before we set off? Well, finger quotes set off. We are actively being set off.
I think for the hell of it, she's gonna check her bag again, and then she's going to start on her own list on like things that would be nice to have.
I gotcha. Here's something really interesting for you, Flynn. You go to check your bag again. You are still really worried about it from yesterday. And you're also compound worries with the fact that now your other party members are also worried about it, right? You can, for the life of you, figure out why you thought that.
What the fuck?
Everything's here. You don't feel the same issue as yesterday. You still can't figure out what you could have left to have made it feel weird. And it's like you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, of course I didn't lose anything or I didn't forget anything. Everything's here. Everything's how it should be. But now there's that issue of why did you feel like that yesterday? And why did you feel like that for so long?
Can I? No, because nothing. Okay. Put that in my back pocket. Flynn feels weird.
Yeah. You feel better about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at least confident that something isn't missing. Okay. She will go about making her list.
Okay, awesome. I would love to get that list whenever you guys need it. We're probably gonna have another break at some point, probably when we get closer to like 8:30. This is kind of like going to be a really slow-paced session, but I think it'll have a lot of cool stuff in it. And I'm going to run to the bathroom really quick, but please feel free to think about your downtime activities.
Woo!
All right, and you guys are setting off. Well, you guys are actively moving. It's just now you are getting ready for the day of already moving. I would love to know what everybody's doing with their downtime really quick. It doesn't have to be
Mhm.
mechanical downtime activity either. It could just be you saying you're doing something, or you're maybe hanging out with somebody in particular. Just talking about what you're doing is fun.
I think Fullen is essentially doing a repeat of yesterday, where she is studying the surrounding environs.
Slay.
Noticeably a bit more quiet today.
Fair enough. Vibes are bad.
Miva is fishing.
Fishing time. Slay. Go ahead and give me your survival roll, and then Flynn, go ahead and give me your roll. I'll say let's say it's still society, still the plus 11. Smart. Women in STEM.
Women in STEM.
Not as good. It was a 17.
Okay.
15. Women in STEM are going through it.
Oh my god, wait, what did you get?
15.
Oh
I
my
rolled a 4.
god. The girls are failing. Hold on. Okay. All right. So this is really fitting. So we'll start with you, Motivo. Your night was technically good enough, right? Yes, there was some talk that was a bit of a downer, but this is nothing strange. You and Ashanafat talks like this a lot. You guys know how you both feel about this sort of thing. And it's still a bit novel, the act of actually traveling and technically adventuring with your planeswalking companions, with your partner. It is very easy for you to kind of get weighed down through this day by not only the feelings of the people around you, as everybody is notably a bit more standoffish, quiet, frustrated. The levity that you had at the bar mostly melted away. And I feel like that kind of crawls up your back as you're hanging off the back fishing. And it pulls back your thoughts to the other night. A really important night for you. But it reminded you of a thing that Ashan has asked of you and brought up to you time and time again. That we don't have to be here. What if we left? What if we didn't do it? And it's with thoughts like that that you've barely entertained. But it feels so heavy now as that sort of idea and that sort of weight and that sort of stress, because you are almost entirely managing the emotions of the people around you. You don't catch any fish, and if anything, the act makes you more upset as you spend this time working and not trying to connect and find levity or find connection with people around you. You're actually fatigued. And you will be fatigued until such a time as I say so.
Okay.
Because it will be whenever you have consistent food, consistent shelter, and rest. And then we go up to Flynn. And I'm going to mirror similar thoughts to you. Because your heart isn't in it. And it's hard because you know how to do this. You know you were keeping really good track yesterday. You could have sworn you knew whereabouts you would be, but it could be that since the servant was going all night, you just weren't lined up anymore. It could be that you aren't really able to remember like the surrounding information about Otepec, the city. Maybe it's just because it's going by a little bit too slowly. You're having too much time to think. you can't get out of your head what was said last night. Because both the things that Ashawn and Nefei said, while you're sure a part of you can rationalize it, they chafe against you in a way that is almost overstimulating. It's like you can feel how angry it makes you. And more often than not, in these moments when you're trying to keep track and you're trying to keep a gauge on like navigation, most of it is spent in silence, staring into the middle distance. And that sort of undercurrent of doubt and frustration starts to seep into a part of you that is hard to ignore. What is interesting about this day of downtime is that even though everybody who is doing something is sort of pensive to themselves, everybody is aware of what they're here to do. You sort of start to see, as this landscape pass you by, as the servant continues to push the boat forward, you start to see civilization emerge. 1 second it's the same as it's been, where there is nothing, and then the next you spot a person kneeling in the reeds at the edge of the river, seemingly gathering greenery in a basket connected to their hip. Within minutes you start passing piers shorter than the one at the washed up bar, and as you get further and further, you start seeing piers that are near homes or buildings, small houses made from mud and thatch, large but humble. You know that means that you must be close in some capacity. But what's interesting when you reach Otepec is that it is suddenly upon you. Because 1 second you go to pass by another pier that juts out into the river, you see in the distance as boats kind of weave in and around this sort of big stretch of water, and you cut around a copse of trees, and you are, I don't want to say awestruck, but it's jarring how suddenly and how differently Otepec the city looks to the surrounding signs of civilization, as you see a giant city juts out from the incline of the mountain next to it. Terraces as far as the eye can see, impossibly high, into plateaus of homes and buildings and outdoor markets, built alongside the river but surrounded and circled by smaller streams and lakes, glittering in the noonday sun. What's most impressive about the city is sort of the shape of it, and it's something that I think sticks out to both Motiva and Falin. Motiva because it looks unnatural to the way of it, but to Falin it almost makes too much sense, as it is geometric. Squares and triangles and harsh angles, pyramids, angled steps. You see at the peaks of the corners of this city are these 3 huge structures, tiered pyramids, that are all decorated with beautiful multicolored banners that create almost like a frame to cradle the city in the valleys between them. And it is very easy for one of you to take over and to pull your boat up to a pier to tie it down. You are now in Otepec. In part awe-inspiring, and in part some of you are not in the mood to truly take it in to the weight that it normally would. What are you guys doing?
I think Mativa's on the roof of the boat and she's staring at the city.
Okay. I'll show you a picture of some of the architecture you'd be seeing.
Mm.
Gimme.
Whoa!
Yeah. This is not the exact city, but like this is like what Ixalan cities look like.
Damn.
Damn. I think Falin would be gathering her stuff and getting ready to hop out this fucking boat whenever we're ready.
Hell yeah. You see that Nefei is also very quick to get her stuff together. Ashan is actually probably the person who grabs the pole from the servant whenever they get close, because he's like, I'll just do it. I'm getting us over there. As he kind of pulls you guys up to a pier, and since it's a big river, but it's also not the hugest river, right? So there are piers, but they're kind of shorter. But there's like a lot of them. So a lot of these boats are similar make to yours, but with different colors, different fabrics. Some of them are decorated. Some of them are even made into like full houses or even like little eateries, places that you can actually go onto, with signs and the like. But you very easily kind of find a place to kind of dock your boat. And as you kind of look out on this kind of harbor, not quite, you see that there's a lot of boats coming and going, mostly from the direction that you guys weren't coming from, but farther upstream. And there's also these little waterways that kind of go into like the circle of lakes around this town. But this city is big. I would compare it to the size of Rossona. Which I think is a testament to how big the structures that are kind of at the edges are. There's going to be a lot of climbing, a lot of walking, a lot of hoofing it. But nobody sort of seems to give you any particularly weird looks. I definitely think people look over at you because you're kind of a motley crew. I will say the person who probably gets the most attention visually is probably people look at your horns, Motiva, but also people stare a lot at Nefei. As kind of like the weirder ones.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. A lot of these people are exclusively human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't think that Ashan immediately peels away from you. I think that he honestly kind of comes together, kind of like tries to pull you guys into a huddle on the boat before any of you guys get off. And I think he kind of just goes to cross his arms and say, what's the game plan?
Well, I should get myself some food first, or else I'll be useless.
Fair enough. I know what I'm doing. Hopefully, making a proper nest of this boat.
After I get something to eat, I will be seeking around if anybody's heard anything. Would you two be interested in seeing... Would you two be more interested in trying to find... Well, no. I'm sure you two are specifically going to look for Eleni. I'll see if I can find Huatli. Is that okay?
Yes, I was intending to start asking around.
Nefei kind of shrugs and says that sounds about as good a plan as any. I'll probably be able to get a decent amount of information just walking around and starting conversations. So.
Yes. I don't want to drag you guys down whenever I need to make myself a person again. So I'll see about finding the planeswalker, and then you guys can do the real business.
Flynn will hold up her phone and kind of wiggle around and say, "Stay in contact."
I will. That's why you're going with that one. And she points to Neve. That, and also, no offense, I do think having Neve around would help with the social bits.
Yes, you're very good with people. Looking at her.
Thank you. That's very kind. No, you know what? That's fine.
Do you want Ashan to go asking around people?
I thought that we were all going our separate ways for a little bit.
I think I brought this up whenever we were walking around the first time at the beach, but I would like if you aren't alone.
So you can be.
I have a way to contact others.
Roll a diplomacy.
Fine. What does fatigue do to my stuff again?
What is what?
Does fatigue do anything to my rolls?
You can't do exploration.
Oh, okay. Then we're fine. 26.
26. Okay, 1 second. Let me look. I'll put fatigued on your sheet really quick. Condition. Fatigue.
Fatigue.
Okay, you have a -1 to AC and saving throws, and you can't do exploration activities.
That's what the food is for.
It's true. Ah, shit.
I was gonna say, I have rations. Couldn't I have eaten that?
Well, you have to eat and then also sleep. That's in, like, the
Wouldn't I
wording
sleep?
of failing for survival. Well, no, because you just woke up. You can only rest and get the benefits from a sleep once every 24 hours.
I did not realize that failing a fishing roll.
Yeah, even
Dave.
a normal failure for subsist is actually pretty bad.
Ooh.
Damn.
They said you tried so hard to get food, you exhausted yourself.
Yeah, the wording of it is that you're in the elements and you're, like, trying but you don't get anything for it, so it, like, wears you out.
Mm,
I'm sorry that this is how you had to find out.
no, it's okay. I'm
Uh,
just used to making you guys do the Kingmaker one that doesn't do stuff like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Critical fail is really bad if you didn't know.
I did not.
You get a -2 penalty to checks to subsist for a whole week.
Ooh.
And the wording is you attract trouble, eat something you shouldn't, or otherwise worsen your situation.
Damn.
Oh, if I can't explore, then I can't do anything. Motiva just stays at the boat.
You guys definitely could take, like, the day and, like, start, like, fresh the next one, because this is, like, the end of the day. But, like, you can do things like talking, like, that sort of thing. You can't, like, gather information, but, like, if you, like, go and find, like, a place to, like, eat and that sort of thing, you can get, like, the lay of the land, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do some things, you just can't do anything that will really, like like your express plan of like I'm going to go talk to people and try to find Huatli or like who's in charge is something that could technically lead to something. You just wouldn't be particularly good at like getting a ton of like other stuff happening. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah.
But like I said, I knew that downtime might come up in this session, so if you guys want to just take the day to get yourself situated, find consistent food, you could even like go and find like places to like sleep that's actually like in a bed and not on the water. That's something I took into account.
In
Yeah, there are inns and stuff. You're in a big metropolis. So, sorry that that's disappointing. We will know this for in the future that subsist is. It's honestly kind of crazy because there's a lot of roles in Pathfinder where it's like, oh, let me try to just see if it works, and then you fail and it's bad. Like the assist one, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to be so startled.
yeah.
I'm just used to like the Kingmaker role where it's just like seek food and then it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 100%. I didn't think that you were mad or anything. I just feel bad that it was startling, you know.
Mhm.
We learning.
We learned.
We learning. But yeah, so you can definitely still like do some basic like at least finding like where the person in charge is if people know if Huatli's here. I'll let you do that because that's not like gathering rumors or anything big. And then Sarah, because you can explore today, you can gather information. And Nefei can also gather information, and Ashan is going to be doing his own version of well, you know, he's going to be buying and selling stuff, which is his own thing. But beside the point, you got a 20 something for your diplomacy. 26?
Yes, I did.
Slay. 26 for diplomacy. Okay. Getting back into the RP of it because Nefei was getting mad at you. I think she kind of just looks at you. And I think the thing that's the most telling about this interaction is that she looks like she wants to fight. She looks like she wants to snap at you. But all you can really see is her kind of like working her jaw as she kind of just goes to give a shrug and is like, all right.
I promise. I'm not trying to argue. I just don't want any more people to go missing.
I don't think she answers. I think she walks away.
I feel like Flint has this awkward moment of like watching Nefei leave and then looking back at Motiva, back at Nefei, back at Motiva, and then just going to follow Nefei.
Whenever Fullen is looking between back and forth, Motiva is just gonna wave and say, I'll find an inn or something.
Back.
Thank you.
Awesome. Who would like to go first?
I would love to hear about Fullen and Nefei being mad. I'm not giving you an option.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys definitely can do that. Also, as a fun fact, there is technically other music that I could have played whenever you got to Otepec, but since the vibes are still bad, we're using the vaguely melancholic music still. So yeah, you kind of run off after Nefei, and I don't think that she like runs off necessarily, right? If you had like waited, I think that she would have stopped after a little bit and like waited for you to catch up. But like, I do think that she is like, she can't move as fast necessarily as some of you, but I think that she is like essentially doing the version of like stomping away. I don't think that she's in like a huff necessarily, but I think that she is just like trying to get mileage, I guess, and like kind of start the now full day of work essentially that you guys are going to be doing.
Yeah. I feel like whenever it is just Phelan and Nefei now set loose into the city.
Yeah.
Phelan's kind of just like looking around at people. And is gonna look to Nefei and say, I suppose we just start asking.
Well, my plan was I wanted to loosen some lips, find a couple places with drink, pick up rumors and the like. I think that is faster and more conducive than asking every person we pass. But if that's what you'd like to do, feel free. We are stuck together, so if one is more successful than the other, then that's a win.
I think going to somewhere with drink would be a good place to start.
All right, let's put our nose to the grindstone. Big city like this, you throw a rock and you hit one.
Where the drink at?
Where to drink at? I am currently finding. One second. Awesome. I will actually go ahead and roll really quick. Okay, awesome. You guys find relatively easily a bar. There's going to be a dime a dozen. But as you're kind of like looking around at the people, the two things that you kind of notice the most about the people here is that there is sort of like a bustle to it, I suppose. People are out and they're being active and they're moving around a lot. There's a lot of shop stalls in the street, little food vendors and the like. And it's also very easy to find things like bars, things like eateries and that sort of thing. And you pick up this like concept that because it's close, like the area that you're in is close to like the river, they probably do like have a lot of things for specifically people who are travelers in this region of the city. So it's very easy to kind of just like go to kind of like duck into a sort of like eatery like that. I'm trying to find a name that I can pronounce. So give me a second. Because I want it to fit the naming convention, but I also want to be able to actually say it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna name this bar later.
Yeah.
Anyway, You duck into a little bar, and the inside is really cute. It sort of has this really open floor plan, that has like I would actually compare it to like how the Beau's End is set up, where like the kitchen is sort of in the center of the room, and it has like a bar around it, and then there's a bunch of tables and that sort of thing, and there is these sort of cute like slanted skylights that kind of let in light but also let out smoke, that sort of thing. Very well ventilated. It's you and Nefei have never really struggled with the heat in Ixalan, but you imagine it is to help with the heat, especially whenever it is particularly hot. And now that you are kind of like in this bar, I would love to know what your plan of attack is, and then we will roll a gather information check.
I am so for real. I think Philin is literally just going up to people and saying, "Hi, I'm trying to find someone. Could you help me? Have you seen someone who looks like this?" And start like describing a lady.
I love that so much. Let's roll that. I feel like the kind of middle ground of this situation with you and Nefei is that Nefei kind of peels off from you while in the building, and is talking to different people than you. So gather information. I assume that's diplomacy? It doesn't tell me.
Takes along with any benefit. More obscure or well-guarded information might require you to have a minimum proficiency rank in diplomacy. So I think it is diplomacy.
Okay, Slay, thank you. You guys are so helpful. Okay, awesome, Slay. A secret, so I make it for you. What's your bonus?
A +9.
Okay, alright.
Oh, and I might. Hang on, let me double check my shit.
Check your shit.
Check my shit, because I might have a thing for gather information.
Always check.
Always check.
Okay, no, I have something for seeking, not for gathering info.
Let me see. I remember this thing I gave Nefei, and it's very good. It's very good that
Ooh.
Nefei went separately than you, because Nefei has discreet inquiry.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a reason why she was like, I'm just gonna start talking to people.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start a conversation. Okay, awesome. So you kind of start going around this room, and it is sort of the same kind of thought process you've had this entire time, which is not necessarily bad, right? The interesting thing about it is that, one, you are in a bar, and then two, the unfortunate bit of it is that Eleni looks weird, right? So there are people who think that you're just drunk, or there are people who are drunk and think that you're joking. It's very common for people to think that you're talking about a merfolk, which is unfortunately something that happened with the pirates at the Washed Up Bar. But you do hear one piece of information while asking about this. Because it almost like starts you ask this guy and he turns to like his companion to start a conversation in reaction to your question. And he says that there have been a lot of merfolk actually around this region, and that's not very common. So like that's like his whole like reaction to it is like, well, like of course I've seen merfolk. They every 5 seconds I feel like my boat's about to hit one. You know what I mean?
Um, I feel like Flynn might follow that up with another question.
Sure. Feel free to give me one. Gather information is usually just me giving like basic information, but I love rewarding talking. So I'd love to hear if you have any questions. And also, just keep in mind that these are the average person, the average person who is also like drunk. So.
Do you know of specific places where one might talk to one of these merfolk?
You know, I never really hear people asking, you know, where to go talk to river heralds. It's not like they live in the rivers.
But if there's a specific point on the river.
And he starts like laughing at his own joke. And he's like, oh, you know, you're not supposed to be over this far generally, but like they travel, they're not set necessarily. I know they have waterways that are like theirs, and they have regions that are like theirs, but it's not like here. You know?
Do you know where that might be? I have a map.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can pull out this map, and I think that I'm gonna get on the map on Foundry really quick. Yeah, okay, hold on. I'll show you where he knows some merfolks might be, because he's like a
Wow.
fisherman who's here drinking after a long day of work. He's like, oh, you know, when we're like over here, we have to be a bit careful. And you know, like over here. And you know, like this whole like section over here is kind of like their thing, but also like they're in like most of the rivers. It's just like this river like we use because it's like Pecatli and like Quetzal are over there, and like Araska's over there. So like we use it a lot. So like, you know, it's kind of better when there's not a bunch of merfolk in the rivers over here. But you know, like over yonder. over yonder in the big, when the river gets really big.
I think Fullen is like making little marks on the map where he's pointed out.
It's like, I'll make little marks to be fun.
Whee!
I'll make it really, really bright blue. You know, he said right about here. You know, over in this direction, and then you also said in over this direction. Oh, and then he also would mention, like, you know, like in the inner sea, there's a lot of them also.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, I'm surprised. You look like you know your way around a boat.
Oh, I'm actually very new.
You know, I could show you the ropes at my boat.
I think she's gonna look at him and she's gonna give a very polite smile and she's like, oh no, it's okay. I have some friends who are teaching me. I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for all of this. It is lovely to meet you.
I think that he also says that it's nice to meet you. I do think, in line with what he just said, I do think he tries to convince you to sit around and talk with his friends some more. But you very obviously aren't interested, so we don't have to keep playing at that. But I do think it's very funny. Falin is very pretty.
Thank you. After that, she will go on her way.
Hell yeah. Nefei also gets a sizable amount of information. In that same vein, where she kind of finds out about the River Heralds, how they've been. A problem is a strong word, she would say, for like what it sounds like, but there's a lot more of them in this area than there used to be, and that's causing a bit of tension. Kind of going back into that thing that you know, that like a lot of the factions in Ixalan are not particularly friendly. So that tends to kind of just end up creating conflict whenever they run into each other. But that's sort of the same amount of information that Nefei gets, and Nefei also gets I'm trying to word how to give this piece of information to you. The reason why it's of note that the River Heralds are being seen a lot more right now is because it's not just like, oh, fishermen are casually like seeing them do their shit. Like, they are very well known for being far away or not interacting with other factions. So the fact that they're being seen a lot insinuates that there's a reason why they're running into like humans. Does that insinuation track?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. That's the way that I think Nefei would word it. But she doesn't know exactly why, and nobody really knows why. And some people don't think there's a reason. Some people are just like, they're just doing shit. You know what I mean? But that's the information that Nefei gets. This is now a bar that you know about. And I can come around to Motiva.
In time.
Hello.
Hotel 8 time.
Yeah. Super stay in time. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you start kind of skulking around the harbor, essentially, where you guys parked your boat. And it's not particularly a fun time, right? You're really tired. Your vibes are bad. You know what I mean? But you end up finding a place, and you kind of have to almost walk into some of these places to find out exactly what they are, because it's not like it's emblazoned always on the outside of these places. But you walk into this building, and it's this kind of like big, again, open floor plan. It's made out of this sort of like packed mud brick. And you come in, and it's sort of like hostel style, like longhouse style. You know, sometimes when you go into like an RPG and you see an inn, but like the front desk, the sitting room, and the beds are all in one room. You know?
No.
Yeah. So it's not like there's private rooms. It's like there's like a bunch of beds in this sort of like big building, and like each bed has like a lockbox at like the foot of it, and it seems to be like an inn specifically for like travelers and stuff like that. And you see whenever you walk in, the person who's kind of like sitting in the sitting area, kind of I want to say maybe sewing, an idle activity. You see that whenever you kind of like walk in, she goes to kind of look over you, and then she goes to like jump up, and she goes to kind of greet you and says, "Hi, welcome. Are you looking for a bed, place to sleep?"
Yeah, actually, that is the plan. I
That's...
have 3 more bodies with me.
Okay, so 4. We definitely have space for that, and you should definitely stay with us. We, all of our all of our boxes are double locked. Very safe.
I'm sure that would make my friends very happy.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. And she goes to kind of like think for a second, and she kind of goes to look at her floor plan, and she's gonna kind of lead you to the 4 beds, sort of like at the end near a sort of window.
Mhm.
And she's gonna say, since you guys are coming as a group, you guys might want to sleep like near each other, so you guys can have these ones.
Oh,
It
thank you.
it is the uhs are in character, which I think is very fun and telling. Oh damn, if I can find where my thing was. There we go. It will be 1 silver coin per day.
1 silver coin per day? Okay. She hands over a silver coin. Just 1 for now. She is going to like perk up and say, I have like the strangest question, but like I'm sure how I'm dressing is weird, but like there's a whole thing going on. I had
Oh no,
a
you're
question.
coalition, right? You're brazen?
Yeah,
That's fine. We serve you here.
thank you. But I had a question that it might be it is not about that.
Oh, okay.
Do you happen to know where Hotley is?
Is she in town?
Is she?
I don't know, is she? And you see she goes to run over to another person in this building to kind of like start like dropping mad goss and being the like, you know, the you know what I mean? And I'm actually gonna have this character to gather information for you really quick. You see that she kind of goes around and talks to a bunch of people, and you see that as she actually at some point ducks out of the building, because she is very keyed up and excited about this piece of information. And you see that she kind of comes back, and she's almost like talking to herself in excitement and like pacing around, and she's like, I had no idea, you know, she's not always around, and you know, and she's not even from here, but like, and oh, I'm sure that she's needed in Araska all the time, but it would be really cool if she was here. I'm sorry, do you know the warrior poet?
No, but he knows a friend of a friend. We're trying to look for somebody, and we're dressed like this, and we might have to be in a lot of Sun Empire areas. So I don't want to seem like I'm a threat. Me and my friends, we're looking for somebody.
Friend of a friend.
Friend of a friend.
And she kind of
Most
like
welcome.
hops closer to you. Are you a mage?
I am a mage.
She hops closer to you. A really strong one?
I don't know if bards are the strongest mages ever, but yeah,
You're a witch.
Motiva would consider herself a bard still. She doesn't
You
know
know
what a
what?
witch is.
Fair enough. It's fair enough, actually. Oh, well, I mean, artists are the most powerful. Souls, I guess. Is the best way to describe it. I mean, can you really be good at other things if you aren't also skilled at creation?
I do not think so. Truly.
Well, I think that the warrior poet could convince you otherwise. But
No. Motiva was agreeing.
Okay.
Agreeing.
Okay, awesome. Sorry. You know, and she's gonna actually go to like take your hand and put your silver coin back in your hand and say, "Friend of a friend."
Oh no, don't do that. She gives the coin back and she says, "At least let me like do something in return for not paying you."
I mean, if you're gonna, I mean, if Watley showed up, it would be worth it.
Well, I don't know if she will. I haven't asked her.
All right, okay. She takes back the coin.
Motiva slips in an extra silver.
You're cheeky.
I am. My friends like to call me cheeky, yes.
Well, since you can't count, and she says it kind of like also like cheekily, and she says, "I happen to have a bit of extra Asasil, if you would like some. You're welcome to it."
The fuck is that? Me, Ash. Am I crazy? Do I know what that is?
No.
Yeah, no. Motiva's gonna like stare for a second, and she's gonna like try to be like context. I can't. And there's no context to be had. She's just like, "I'm sorry. Could you fill me in really quick? I've been traveling a lot and I'm tired."
It's food, little
Oh,
little critters you catch in the lake.
yes. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I spend a lot of time in the lake getting a whole lot of nothing.
Well, maybe somebody else just got your catch before you. And she's gonna bring you out some crayfishes.
Yeah!
Dem's crayfishes.
I fucking love crawdads!
I do love a crawdad. I fuck him up.
We love a dad. We love a dad. Oh, Motiva's gonna look so delighted.
They're
Oh,
spicy.
she's gonna look. Oh, she's gonna be so excited. She's gonna be slurping up their tail. Oh,
Yeah, she gives you some crawdads and she makes you sit on a little rug near one of the nice skylights. There's no fire, obviously, because it's warm as fuck. But she lets you eat and rest to your heart's content. I do think that she does not like necessarily like leave you alone. Because she keeps trying to come over and like low key talk about like, "Oh my god, where you're from? What do you do? Like, how does your friend know Watley?"
yeah. I think Motiva would say, she's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm from somewhere over north that you probably wouldn't know. Oh, I'm just a musician and a mage hand. And oh, it's just she knows somebody in the coalition." Like, it's just like, I'm not lying.
Yeah, you're saying a lot of things that are technically correct.
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of things that are technically correct. I think Motiva will like try to be like, "Oh my gosh, look at this," and she'll like summon instrument and play like guitar for a bit.
She claps. I think she would actually ask you to give her a song.
Oh my gosh, she would do it. Should I roll performance?
Wow, I would love that.
Hell yeah. Not Venmo.
Not Venmo. Don't Venmo her
No.
money.
Don't Venmo. I Venmo you $20. And that's with my bonus from my special performance. So
special.
that is 17 plus 31.
Oh my god, yeah, okay. You start playing her a song, and at first she's just delighted at the idea that you're gonna play her music, right? But like, you know, even when music is bad, it's still fun, right? But like you're really fucking good at it. You know what I mean? You know that, right? You're literally professionally trained to be good at it. So I think what's really cool about it is that very quickly it sort of turns into this sort of like actual like awe and inspiration. And I don't know if this necessarily is something that Motiva is used to or like is balked by, but like other people in this building like stop what they're doing to listen, and it's not like an uncomfortable stare, right? But it's like everybody who sees you making music, performing like this, like stops specifically to watch you and like almost show respect to the fact that you're doing it.
Oh, I
and I
think
think-
Motiva would appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting and refreshing reaction to you playing music in public, which sometimes can be considered embarrassing depending on where you're at, right? And then obviously whether people like it or not is like also up in the air. But like, and it kind of ties back into this thing that you like heard her say when talking about you being a bard and talking about you knowing Huatli. You think that artistry is really well recognized here.
Yeah, I think Motiva is genuinely really refreshed by this reaction because I think that most of the time she's used to people just kind of being like, yeah, like you're playing music and then walk by and like maybe they'll drop her a coin. I don't think she's used to people like actually listening. I like think that the last time she actually had a real reaction like this was whenever she played at Prismari for the first time.
Yeah.
So I think she's really refreshed.
I think it's really cool, and this is just an aside because obviously, like, I can't have a ton of this kind of type of interaction, word for word in character, because I don't know exactly what song you played. But like, it's to the point where like I think people come up to you when you're done and like talk to you about your lyrics. Like I'm talking about like they listened, you know?
Oh, she's so emo.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Oh, emo.
Yeah.
Oh, emo girl. Yeah. She would respond to it. She would talk about it. I think that like I know that like eventually Motiva like has sent a text out to like Ashan and Flynn about like where she is, but like I think that she's like completely lost in this conversation. I think she's genuinely so delighted about people like liking art and performance.
Yeah. I definitely feel like you have like a pretty good time with it, and something that you kind of pick up as you're talking to people is a lot of people who are in this like room are like also travelers. They're like staying here. Like I said, it's like hostel style. It's meant to be cheap places to sleep, but like it's not like luxury, but it makes up for it by the fact that it's almost like everybody here talks. And you find out that the woman who welcomed you in is the owner and the person who kind of runs it.
Mm-hmm.
And she would at one point like to ask you, and so, friend of a friend, what's your name?
My name is Motivation.
I think that's lovely.
Thank you. Do you have a name for them, or do you
Yeah,
have to
I was
hunt
waiting for you to
names?
ask.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to assume because when her Motiva is gonna nod her head and say, "What's your name?"
Chimali.
Thank
I am
you.
Chimali.
Yeah. Motiva would nod and say, "It's nice to meet you, Jamali. Thank you for letting us stay here. You really didn't have to."
Oh, I think it's a lot more fun to have varied people stay. Also, it puts food on my table, you know? Every traveler's got to lay their head somewhere. And besides, you've already paid me back with a song.
And hopefully I can pay you back for those crawdads.
You already paid me for them. That's why I gave them to you. You gave me extra coin. And since we're friendly, you're always welcome at Miss Keedle. And I hope
Thank
it is as restful as laying under a mesquite tree. That means the mesquite tree.
Yes, we had to see this in many museums about Native peoples. At least I did whenever I was doing stuff around for school.
I had no idea they were important. I was like, that's a tree.
Mesquite trees are a problem in Arizona. They're very sneezy.
Oh, I'm sorry, they're sneezy.
But yeah. Motiva would send out a text to Ashawn and Flynn and just be like, hey yo, crawdads, come here.
Come get some dads.
Come get some dads, y'all.
Oh boy,
I'm
Dad!
sure Ashawn needs a father.
Literally. I do think that Ashawn probably takes a bit longer to come back over, but I would love to know, Flynn, if you think you're quick to go over to get some crawd dads, or if you come back later in the day.
Crawd dads. I think Philina's gonna spend as much time as she can asking around.
Slay. You definitely spend like the 8 hours for gather information.
Yep.
Hell yeah. And eventually you guys kind of reconvene. I think that this would be a good time for another break so I can have a little snack and so I can pick out some stuff that Ashawn would have bought.
Yes, I can give you my list.
Yeah. Okay, I pause. Goodbye, everybody. All right, and we're back, everybody. As the day sort of comes to a close and it's full dark by the time everybody sort of reconvenes at the Mesquite Inn and Hostel. You, Flynn and Nefeh, are like welcomed just as warmly by Chimali as she kind of comes up to you and being like, "Oh, your friend's here. We've got her set up over here," and like she kind of leads you over. You see where Motiva is, but she like personally like leads you over while trying to like talk your ear off. And she's like, "What's your name?"
My name is Philin.
Flynn. Fancy. Question.
Mhm.
Are you a mage?
I am.
Like a really powerful one?
I would like to think so. Certainly not the most powerful, but
I don't know. It's pretty cool. And then by the time she's kind of like reached you over there, Motiva, as she brings you your friends, Flynn and Nefeh. And sort of after that, Chimali almost immediately flits to talking to Nefeh, and they kind of start gabbing.
Can I be honest?
What's up?
My image of Motiva with the fucking food is that she looks kind of like a rabid animal with like seasoning all over her fingers.
Oh yeah,
And then
where's
it's
the
all over
mango?
her mouth. There's the mango.
Hold on, there's a meme where it's like, this is Motiva eating a crawdad, and I will need a redraw of it.
Like, that's a conspiracy more.
There we go. This strawberry one is also really good. Okay, I'm putting it over here too. Hold on.
Yeah, Motiva just looks up to see her friends and just like,
I feel like, in spite of the sad vibes of the day, this is what makes Fulin crack a smile.
Oh, 100%.
Motiva like frog blinks at them and it's just like, hello? You weren't supposed to come so fast. You took a minute, so
Is the food good?
I ate all of the crawdads. I'm sorry.
Crawdad
It's okay.
infused fugue state.
You can just get more.
I have more. Would you like
Hey.
some?
Pay for them. Motiva like reaches into her
no,
bag
no,
with like
it's
her
really
fucking hair.
fine. Hospitality. We're friends
no,
now.
Look, I insist we give you
We're
money for it.
friends
So.
now. She's not that tall, but she's taller than you, Fulin, and she's just kind of like looming with a really sweet smile on her face.
Well, friends or no, you deserve to be paid for your services.
Shrimp.
What did you say, Motiva?
Shrimp.
Shroom.
Motiva holding out the bowl like,
It's not even the bowl, like her fucking like hair is holding up her like bag of money and she's like still snarfing down.
Yeah. Chimali will graciously take your coins and will bring out enough crawdads easily to sate all of you. And they're good. You know what I mean? They're spicy, they're juicy. They're you can take the heads off and slurp them, you know.
hell yeah.
Yeah. I think probably in the middle of you guys eating up, a really fun thing about Chimali. I've been seeding that she's like this the whole time. She would also be chatting you guys up while you eat. She is not a hands-off hostess at all. You're staying in her inn. She's talking your ear off. You know what I mean? But a little bit into your meal is whenever Ashan shows up and he goes to kind of like, how do I describe this without making him sound like a gremlin? I'm just gonna have to. He kind of like goes to like sit like near you, Motiva, but he's also like sitting like a gay person that can't sit right, as he just kind of like lounges over the bed to like take some of your crawdads to start eating them.
Yeah, she doesn't even care. She's just like, welcome back.
I have a veritable haul, a housewarming gift, I suppose.
Hmm?
Let me get the list of stuff that he got. He got you a flint and steel, specifically to give to you because he's like, I don't fucking need that. And then he's gonna list off some of the things on your list in particular. He actually vetoed a tent, because we have the boat.
Motiva looks to Felis and is like, I'll get cabin ready because he doesn't listen to women.
Thank you. Looking to Ashan, it is for whenever we got to the jungle.
Well, anyway, I do actually think that he gets you the string and the kite, easy peasy. Extra ink and paper, I think he would get that. But like one replacement set. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, slay. For religious text, I can actually tell you a lot. I think he does get you a book, and I can tell you a lot tonight when we're out of game about the Faith of the Sun Empire, because it's not like a theocracy necessarily, but there is like one religion. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So I can go off about that later. he also would have brought some other stuff, so I'm trying to get his list together really quick. The whole reason I paused was because I wanted to look at stuff to get, but then I didn't get it. I think that he got like cookware. I think he got like a cooking pot. I'll have to look farther into it because I could have sworn there's another item that I wanted him to get, but I can't find the page for it. So I'll make the list bigger when we're out of game also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'll have to do this afterwards because I've lost all of my marbles. But the most important thing is the idea of him once again being like, listen, some of these things I got, but some of those you don't need.
Mm. Says you, weather boy.
Did you find anything out?
Hotly not here.
Jamali from the corner. Oh, I thought you said she was here.
I asked you if she was here, and you didn't say yes, so I assumed that she wasn't here.
Maybe she isn't here.
Is that a way to get her here?
You know, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like, the Warrior Pro's gonna be, like, busy, but, like, it can't be, like, that busy. We're not, like, at war or anything.
We can ask the void very nicely, and she will suddenly appear.
That sounds about right. I know that she is... I mean, she's very good at getting around.
Oh, that's important.
It is really important, and I'll have you know... You know, it's really interesting that you said that. About, like, a void.
Hmm?
You make it very hard to be very well behaved. You know that I've been very polite. And she leans in really
Well,
close.
I would love to hear about it.
Are you one of those planeswalkers?
Motiva's gonna look over, and she's gonna fucking stone face say no.
Nice.
I don't know what that is. Is this like a... Is this because, like, the sun? Is this a, Is this a nation joke? Am I being played? You pulling my leg?
She kind of looks at you, and you feel like you do get the sense that she's, like, trying to look over your personage, but you keep yourself very stone-faced. And you see that she kind of just, like, almost instantly, like, pouts.
Mm?
No.
What's that face for?
No, it's okay. I guess I just was mistaken. It just would have been really cool.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, you're still really cool.
Oh,
Thank you. I also think I'm really cool. I think you're really cool.
Oh, I'm just okay.
don't sell
Your
yourself short.
crawdads are busting my brain out of the hole that I came from.
Well, it is a family recipe. I do think I make a mean crawdad.
My brain is melting out of my ears. It's so good.
It's good for you to have food that's that spicy.
It is. It's very good for the heat.
Psst. Sarah,
Yeah?
are you gonna tell Motiva about the information you and Nefе found out?
Oh, yes, sorry. I didn't know if we were gonna have a different segue to that or not.
Oh, you know what? That's really fair. If you want to wait until Chamali leaves or ask Chamali to leave, you can. But like, I thought that. Sorry.
No, you're okay. I just didn't think to do it in this conversation.
Yeah, but he was gonna look to Fallen and just be like, "Tell me your things."
Yes. So nobody has seen Eleni. Most people thought we were talking about Merfolk. But we did get information that Merfolk have been in this area a lot more recently. I got a man to point out on a map, and she's going to check out the map, on the specific areas of the river and the inner sea and whatnot, where they might be more prevalent. I figured there's a chance that maybe they got found by the merfolk, and maybe they're with them.
I think that's our best bet for now. I think that's what we should do. Look for.
And I figured if that doesn't work, we can just make our way down the river to various cities and keep asking around.
Yeah. We're not gonna stop.
I know.
I think she kind of like scratches her head and says, "This is a bit risky on my part, but I think eventually, whenever we travel here for a certain amount of time, I will go back and ask Onyx about a spell scroll to take us directly to Eleni. If we take too long on ground, that is."
Yes, ideally, if it ends up taking us a month or however long she would need to make that scroll, then by the time it takes us that long, she would have the scroll.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying I'll get it, zip back, and then we can immediately do stuff.
I think Nefe kind of sighs and just says, "That sounds like about as good a plan as any." It's good to have a failsafe, I suppose.
We have failsafe on top of failsafe on top of failsafe. And, I mean, for all we know, Eleni is thriving and just hasn't found us.
Hopefully. Oh, I should put up Lynn is going to cast Guiding Star to put the funny little constellation in the sky.
Oh my god, yeah, that one.
That one.
Constellations.
Constellation. So that way they can be kept up to date on where we are. Oh, I also wanted to ask you this. She's actually going to look specifically at Nefei. If there's any message or anything you'd like me to pass along to Eleni in the dream message tonight or any other nights, I can do so. So far, they have been receiving them.
I think Nefei makes a face at that, and it's like one of those ones where it's like I feel like she's almost like taken aback at the offer, and it's like this like complicated look where it's like thankful but sad, and then like almost like a trying to tamp that down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she's gonna think for a second. Tell them if they don't make it, they're just gonna prove her right.
Write that down.
Nothing that she says is gonna take what you got waiting back home for you. Your real one. That's it.
Lynn writes that down.
Man.
Man.
Alright. Do you guys have anything else you want to say or do before you bunker down?
I do think that's before everyone settles down for bed, Fullen is thinking. And she's gonna look at everyone, but mostly Motiva and Deshawn. And is going to say, just so everyone is aware, when I am in my trance, I am still able to hear sounds around me. And then she's just gonna lie down.
Yeah, fair.
Can I be real?
Mm-hmm.
Motiva looks unbothered. Anything she says is something she'd say to Fullen.
God, I believe that. Hold on.
You?
I have a fun thing really quick. I want to do something.
Oh.
I need both of you
Cool.
I need both of you to make a will save.
What?
What?
Make a
The
will save.
fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Is this against a sleep effect by any chance?
It sure ain't.
Okay. Is this a spell?
Yeah.
Got a 27.
27.
A
okay.
spell? Who's casting?
Okay. I had something. Well, unless you're gonna let me do the fucking counter spell thing that you are letting me do.
You can't. It's not on your spell list.
That is fair.
But thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, you should tell Sarah about that, though.
I will in a minute.
Okay. 14 plus 9?
Okay, so that's a 23,
Yes.
23, and a 27. Okay. Something happens separately to you both in that moment. Because after this kind of comment is said, I don't know if necessarily Falin meant to throw it with any sort of spite or any emotion like that. But as Motivo is unbothered and you both kind of go to lay down for the night, quiet settling over you in this room full of a bunch of people. It's hard to describe it because it's sudden. But whatever sort of feeling that was kind of melts. And for some reason or another, both of you feel kind of bad. Regretful. But that's all that happens.
What the fuck?
Were we able to tell that that was some kind of magic thing?
That's a good question. Let me see.
Were we able to know a spell was used on us? Doctor, help.
Ooh, okay, 1 second. Not clearly, actually.
Ooh.
You can think that that's what it was, and I won't say that that's strange because it does feel strange, right? So I won't call you out if your character in particular thinks something like that happened, but there is no way to feel a spell happening to you. Because a lot of times because it says in the text when you identify a spell, you normally only notice a spell because of the somatic and verbal components to it. Mm-hmm. Like, you know something is up. The way that a lot of people write this out is you're aware that something is up, but you don't know necessarily that it's a spell.
Mhm.
I feel like after that happens, as Felin is like laying down, she's just gonna quick cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You cast Detect Magic and you don't sense any magic that you haven't already kind of like writ off. If magic happened, it already seemed to have dissipated.
Okay.
Okay. Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks. You guys go to bed however you feel about it. But with that, I think that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of cut the session here.
Done.
We can either have interactions at night in the inn. We can also talk about if you guys want to do like separate things during some of the days that you are here in Otepec. And I can definitely write up some really cool stuff based on like what your kind of plans are for that.
Yes.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and stop recording.